And I started the stream. Okay, alright, give me some tests so I can get your levels.
Alright, I am testing now to make sure the levels are good.
Wow, okay. How about you, Ray?
Testing, testing.
Oh my
Here are.
god, we're all also coming in around the same level for a change.
Woohoo!
Hooray!
Whee! I added a pass-through feature last mid-show, like, so I can control more of your guys' volume separately from mine. Without relying on Discord. That only gives you so much. There's an echo. Oh. Nope, that's the stream. Cool.
Okay, I was gonna say I didn't hear anything.
All right.
Yeah. I loaded the stream so that I could hear all of you. Although, you know, that's on Google and that's muted, but we all heard it. Good job. Okay, do we want to... I'm logged into myself. That's okay, I can share as myself. Production meeting after?
Yeah, we can do a quick one.
Okay. It's just a couple shows. And you guys are going to have one without me.
Because of the wedding.
Yay, the message is right. I did change the bots and stuff. Okay, we are tweeted and Facebooked.
Oh, and here comes one of my cats, because of course. Are you gonna come up here? You gonna say hi to everybody, PETA? Maybe. No, maybe I'll just stay down here. Meow. You don't want to be internet famous? No. Are you sure? Okay.
Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Ready.
Okay.
We got perspective, we got the cool, we got the muscle, and you know we effing rule. We are the Geek Grills, we are the Geek Grills, alright. We got the know-how, we got control, we got the knowledge, and we tell you how it rolls. We are the Geek Grills, we are the Geek Grills, alright. We are the Geek Grills, we are the Geek Grills, tonight. Hell yeah.
Hello and welcome to episode 200 of Geek Girls. Geek Girls podcast is supported primarily by our patrons at www.patreon.com/girls. I am Ray, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Ember.
Hello.
And Linda.
Hey there.
And today's topic is Salvatore Garau and modern art talk. Mostly modern art, but specifically the Salvatore thing started it. So before we get into that, what have you girls been up to?
I can go first if you want. I'm sorry if I sound a little tired. I went to the SCAD exhibit with Ray, the Ruth E. Carter exhibit, to see all of her costuming. It was really, really neat. It was a little exhibit, you know, it wasn't like huge, but just all of the costumes were super intricate and beautiful. And like they told you beforehand, you know, don't touch anything. And there's this one like taffeta gown that I was like, don't touch it. Don't. They told me not to touch anything. Don't touch it. It just.
What's SCAD, guys?
Oh, sorry.
Savannah College of Art and Design.
There
They
you
have
go.
a Atlanta campus that opened up a few years ago. So yeah,
Yeah.
and apparently with that they have their own little museum as well.
hmm
Gotcha.
it's like the fashion museum basically. So it made sense that they would have that exhibit there. We had a little adventure because our GPS decided to betray us and it tried to take us where there was no entrance off of the freeway, so we had to make a circuit and just go on an adventure in downtown Atlanta, which, happens. um we both agreed that like if we had been on our own, we would have been much more like
Frazzled.
frazzled, but because it was the two of us together, we were just kind of laughing about it. So,
Yeah, it's an adventure when you're with a friend.
yes.
It's
Yeah.
anxiety inducing when you're by yourself.
And then part of the reason why I sound so tired is that over this past weekend and starting last Monday, actually, which is why we didn't record last Monday, is my car decided to die. Um, so what was wrong with it was the catalytic converter, which we knew needed to be replaced. It just decided that the day that we got the part shipped in, because my catalytic converter was under warranty, the day that the part shipped in, it decided that okay, I'm done now. And on my way back from work, it just was like, nope, I'm not going. I'm not going a foot
Oh.
farther. So I had to get like a tow, and that was its own huge thing that involved 2 calls to the Progressive Insurance, 2 tow trucks because the first one got sent to the wrong address, and I didn't get home until 9 p.m. For reference, I get off of work at 5. So that was an adventure. Um, but we were able to get my car over to the mechanic and get the catalytic converter replaced with the new one. We were going to get the we were going to replace it ourselves because we bought the part, and we'd also bought my rack and pinion, which if you don't know, rack and pinion is your steering system in a Honda at least.
Now, that's a general term for steering
General term.
Yeah.
assembly. Yeah.
I don't know. All cars are weird and different beasts, so I'm just and that the work alone we had been quoted to be like $1,000 or something. So my husband and my dad are pretty mechanically savvy, so they were just going to replace it themselves. So we went over to my parents' house over the holiday. Like we both took Friday off and went over, and they spent about 17 hours replacing it. So while they were taking care of my car, I went with my mom to go like thrift shopping like all over Snellville and Lawrenceville because I needed a shoe rack, and I found not only the shoe rack I needed, but I also found a bag for $7. It was full of yarn, and all the yarn still had its tickets attached, and it was $300 worth of yarn for 7.
Yeah,
It
I
was,
saw that on
yeah.
Facebook. It's like, ooh.
Some of it's like
Treasure.
alpaca, some of it's merino wool, some of it's silk blends. So that was real lucky. My Goodwill luck when it comes to finding yarn is holding. But then we came back home, and today, which is back Monday again, we took it to go get it the alignment, because after you replace the rack and pinion, it needs to be aligned or you're going to tear up your tires. And as I'm driving it home from the alignment, I'm hearing this sound of air whenever I hit the gas. And I just like, have you ever felt like so defeated? So you just get really tired.
Yeah.
And like, nothing like the acceleration is fine, the handling is fine, nothing seems to be the matter with it. It's just making this kind of sound. And I'm like, we just took it twice to professionals.
I feel your pain.
So I'm just like, I'm just gonna keep an ear on it, see if it gets worse or if maybe it'll go away. That's probably too much to ask. Um, but that was even just talking about it. I'm just exhausted. I'm so done with with my car problems.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. But then I have made things. Here.
What?
So these are the bases that I have made for a bunch of what I call them baby plushes, which are the little like blankets that have stuffed animals on them. They're all made of this super soft plush yarn. There's a whole bunch in all different colors, and it feels like holding a cloud. I'm just gonna put my face on it. Good. And they're quite soft, and I'm looking forward to attaching the little critters to them. And I have finished up a whole bunch of pockets. So
Ooh.
I have a Mandalorian pocket,
Wow.
another dinosaur pocket, some rainbow zigzags,
Cool.
a little like patisserie, fancy
Oh
foods
my
kind of
gosh. You know,
pocket.
my Aquilo apron doesn't have pockets.
This would work.
There you
This
go.
one that I found an old a sheet at Goodwill that it I'm sorry, it literally had a Disney tag on it. I'm pretty sure it was Frozen sheets, but all that had been donated was the top sheet, so it's now becoming pockets. Cute little towel,
Cute.
and then a Star Wars Rebel kind of
Nice.
pilot. Because I find these fabrics that are only remnants, and remnants are just enough to make a
Yep.
pocket. So I was working on these earlier, and I've been like finishing them up, and my husband said, you should relax, do something fun. So when I got done, I wrote a pattern for a dead crewmate. It's fun. So that is
gotta
me.
get more of those pictures on your site.
Yes, I need to update my site a little bit. I'm a little behind in updating the site.
Yeah, because I wonder if my husband would like the Mandalorian one. Because he is carrying a purse now. It's a new thing, like one of his
Mhm.
Father's Day presents that took more than a month to arrive. But, they had to make it. And I've taken a little bit of shit. Like, he's like, it's the man purse summer. And people are like, clothes and accessories don't have to be gendered. And it's like, all right, so you're trying to tell him he can't call it a purse? I think you're arguing with the wrong people here. We're not doing that thing. Like, seriously, he's in this town basically carrying a purse because he's sick of all the. I mean, cargo pockets are handy for all the stuff you have to carry around, but they're not enough for the stuff he carries around.
Yep.
He's like, I need a damn purse. I'm like, I can do that. So I got him a really cool leather one. I kind of want one. I spent more on that than I ever spend on a purse, by the way.
Nice.
Which
I
mean, speaking of what you've been up to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what you been up to?
Well,
I
I got my
haven't
husband a
talked to you in
purse.
2 weeks.
I also got my hair dyed again. They're supposed to be purple at the roots, but the red kind of bled into it, so. But it was funny, she took a picture and entered it into a Pulp Riot contest because they have new colors out she used. And she was like, it's got to be like a superhero thing. What do you want to do? And I was like, well, it's kind of Captain Marvel. So she called it like Captain Marvelous. Um,
Very cool.
so, and I had car trouble. Well, not car trouble. Rob had car trouble. I had about almost $1,000 worth of work done on his, and then on the way home to hit the ATM to move money from one account to another to pay off that card, I heard a noise again, the same one I took it for. So I totally feel your pain, Linda. It's the week for it. I was supposed to go this morning to have that looked at because I called back immediately and I was not very patient with the man. But I mean, some things, half of it already definitely needed to be done. The gear shift was worn out, and so the little button, so you have to hit to shift, wasn't popping out. So you kind of like bang on it and like it won't, you can't get your key out if it's like that. So that just had to be replaced. And that's something I had to go to the dealer, and it is really high labor. The other thing was the thermostat was leaking a little bit, and that's what we thought was causing the noise. But I was too tired this morning, so I was like, nope, not doing it. I called up, I said, I ain't coming. It's an intermittent noise. Like, I'll just pull in one day when it's actually doing it, but it does it for like a minute and then stops. So it might, and it's not driving any different. It's not causing a problem. I'm going to have to wait. I was like, I wasn't going to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and go back to the mechanic hoping it might make the noise while it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to an amazing burlesque show. I'm so happy these troops are out again. This one, the Flamingo Review, it was their first time at the Visualite Theater, which is where I normally go see Big Mama D's House of Burlesque. This troupe has a lot of artists that used to be part of that troupe and people I had never seen, and it was honestly one of the best burlesque shows I have ever seen in my life. The variety of entertainment was amazing, and I always love to see Silver because she lives down by you guys now, and she came up for it, and they had this couple. These women did. It wasn't. They didn't even take their clothes off. I mean, it was just this artistic acrobatic, like doing kind of yoga things and then balancing up on each other. But they had a screen drop down behind them that was all this black and white footage of them doing things like fire swallowing and stuff that you couldn't do in an indoor theater. So it was like this huge multimedia. Oh my gosh. It was fantastic. I was so happy. And the return of one of my favorite hosts that he came back from, he had basically retired from burlesque. So they sold out their first show in that theater. And yeah.
Neat.
Very cool.
Oh my God, I had such a good time. What else? Oh, so Tira Valenta that I was talking about, that writing gig that I could get in on, and I talked to JF DeBow, and like that's not a bad pay for it and everything else, and I'm in all these groups and the wiki, and then I'm reading through everything. It's not an RPG, it's a LARP.
Ah, okay.
And I'm like, I think I'm gonna email the guy and bail out. I've been in one LARP in my life. I don't feel like I could write like mini adventures in the choose your own. Like I don't feel like I have the kind of experience to write a LARP.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we didn't either when we did Simulacra, and we were just like, well, we're gonna try it anyway.
Throw it at the wall.
I can hook you guys up if you want to do this, and you can actually get paid to write LARP stuff.
Actually, I might be interested
Yeah,
in
sure.
passing that along.
Go ahead and
I
Hook
will.
us
I
up.
will send you the stuff, or the email of the guy who can get you into the stuff. Because I got it
Okay.
through like a polygeekery group that I'm in, and I don't know how many more people they need. But if I'm bailing, I think they were
Yeah.
kind of. I mean, I had only told them like I'll look through everything and see if I'm sparked, and then I kind of panicked about it being a LARP. So, like, I need more hobbies. So I did get a smoker. after talking myself out of it, I went to get a lamp because I've been redoing my bedroom, and I went into a closeout place, and there was a smoker sitting there for $99.
Oh wow.
And yeah, this is normally like a $240 smoker.
Mm-hmm.
This master built because it had a dent.
Oh.
So I opened it up. I looked. Everything was in here. Manufacturer still had styrofoam on it, like, and the dent like didn't penetrate. Nothing was breached, and so that was mine. And so I have made wings. I have made jerky. I made ribs in it yesterday. We're talking about smoking eggplant for baba ganoush. I'm pretty psyched for that. Yeah. So I did get another cooking hobby, kinda. I also smoked for the 3rd of July. We had a fire party, and friends over, and Rob cooked. He made carne asada and pastor, and we had street taco set up going on, and we partially smoked the meats for that, and then grilled them off to finish, and that was a nice boost. Yeah, and surprise, I was like on my way home from getting the ice, and I got a call. My son's like, I'm 15 minutes away, and he and his fiance stopped by and hung out, and they got to eat real food instead of garbage on their way back home to Raleigh, because it was a long drive they were on from being hiking. They set their wedding date in October of 2022. And yeah, hung out.
What day in October? Just out of
8th.
curiosity. The 8th. Okay, we're the 11th.
31st.
So, and she wants me to go when she goes dress shopping.
Aw.
I'm so excited.
That's awesome.
It's so awesome. And they were the I feel like we've totally reestablished after him disappearing for 6 months at a time for so long. This relationship. They showed up here, and they had gone to some hot sauce museum and brought this buffalo wing sauce that they found, and apparently Connor tasted every sauce there, like he's there sweating and sweating, like, I'm going to find one I think Dad will like. And they brought his hot sauce, and he brought me a wreath, a big wreath that he made out of vines from his yard.
Oh, cool.
And they toured a distillery, and they brought us moonshine pickles, which they're like spicy moonshine pickles. Yeah, they're really good. They're super complex, better than I thought they'd be. Like, first it's like, oh, good, tastes like a pickle. Whoa, there's the burn, this moonshine for sure. And then the spice comes in, and yeah, my guests, they're like, have one now, have one now. I'm like, kids, my guests aren't even here yet. I can't be like looped up on moonshine before the people even get here. And I said, but don't worry, there's a couple people coming that I know are gonna be after all over this. And then yeah, I'm standing there doing something else, and the one of that group of people came over. It's like, where's those pickles? And just grabbed them and ran off toward the fire with them. I'm like, okay, I guess we're opening them now. But yeah, we had a wonderful party, and they brought these like thoughtful gifts, and he took these gold stamp collection. I got him when he was a kid to try and sell them for money for the wedding. And yeah, the only other thing I did recently is I did play some WoW the other day. A lot yesterday, actually. I didn't get to kill Sylvanas yet. But I got to yell and scream about it and watch them fight, because the expansion is out. So, how about you, Ray? What you been up to?
Yeah, I went to the Scad Fashion Museum. So the Ruthie Carter exhibit, she worked on the Black Panther for the costume designs, which was the big advertisement that they sent off. But she also worked on Roots, the TV series. Selma, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. Do the Right Thing, which I immediately recognized those costumes. And Coming to America 2. And I probably also forgot some other stuff. But that was really cool.
Wasn't Blade?
Blade?
No, there was something. I'll remember it in a second.
Yeah.
There was another one. There was one like a single costume from a movie that I was like, I didn't know she made that. I'm probably misremembering it, so please don't quote me.
Yeah, they had a bunch of stuff, and then they also had a photography exhibit like on the other side, because it was like 1, 2, 3, like 3.5, 4 rooms is how it was. So the photography exhibit was Albert Watson, who I'd never seen before, but it was just beautiful, like black and white, mostly portraits, but like really cool not just like, oh, give me face. Like some of them were like high fashion, some were more like high concept, some were just like gorgeous, like action shots, for lack of a better term, with like wind blowing the hair dramatically, and it was like some were just like really good close-ups of like super intricate costumes. So it was really cool. I think it was like $5 or $10. So if you're in
Yeah,
Atlanta,
$10.
I do recommend it. Uh, and then me and Scott went to Canditopia, which is like a little like pop-up that they've been doing across the country. It's basically it's a very Instagram event where the thing is everything is made with candy, but it's still cool. So like there's lots of things that you can pose with, and it's super good for kids, like younger kids. We were the only ones there really without kids our age, but that was fine. But they had like swings for the kids, and like everything's made of candy, and there's free candy in every room that you go through, so you can get really hopped up on candy. And of course the exit through the gift store has more candy. Like Scott was like, it's like a Willy Wonka experience. So we did that, and there was like one room where they had beautiful like spirals, so it looked like an optical illusion, like you were being sucked down like into something. So that was like hands down my favorite photo of the whole thing. And then they had a pit that was just full of foam pieces that kind of looked like marshmallows. They were not marshmallows. They looked like giant marshmallows. So you could like fall into the foam pit. Well, you weren't supposed to fall. You were supposed to walk down the stairs. But they're cute little kids, and they're like 4 years old, and they're not really getting it. And they're just jumping in the pit, and everybody's having a good time. So that was fun. Let's see. I finally got peaches last Sunday from the farmers
Hooray.
market, which were then used to make the peach sauce that we brought for the wild boar tenderloin. Let's see. I finally used my light tablet that I had gotten for my birthday, that I finally got to do the coloring book challenge, which was this picture that you cannot see if you're on the if you're listening to this, but it's Sailor Moon looking dreamily up at the sky with tuxedo mask, and then I couldn't think of anything cool for a background, so it's just a bunch of purple with bubbles.
I like the bubbles.
I like them, but I grabbed oil paint instead of white acrylic. So the whole time I'm pinning it down, I'm like, why isn't this smooth? And I'm like mixing it with more and more water, and I'm like, why are you not mixing? Are you that old? You're a year old. You should be fine. And then like finally, after like getting it done, I go to put the paint away, and I'm like, it's oil.
No wonder the water wasn't mixing with it.
Nope.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember how. Like I thought I got rid of all my oil paints, but apparently nope. I still have some, so I need to separate those. And then this weekend, I watched more Sweet Tooth, so I'm 2 episodes away from the end of that, which is this cute series on Netflix about post-apocalypse caused by a disease. It's fine, guys. It's actually really sweet. Like because of this, we now have hybrid children which have animal features, and it's It's good. I like it. It's based off a Vertigo comic book series. To kind of give you an idea, I think it was like a 10-issue series. But then the Fear Street 1994 movie came out, and I loved the Fear Street books. R.L. Stine did Fear Street before he did Goosebumps, so when I was in the end of elementary school, middle school, that's what I was reading in addition to Stephen King. Uh, so that was fun. Um, Except for it's 1994, and I'm sorry, but Garbage did not release that. I'm only happy when it rains until 1995, and that really irked me because my brain likes to connect music with particular memories, and I'm like, no, I know exactly when that came out. Don't mess with me and tell me it was 94, you liars.
You are wrong, sir.
And yeah, so I don't know why my brain just like zoomed in on that. I have a friend who does costuming, and whenever she sees like watches and like period piece movies, she gets really upset, and I'm like, I guess that's what I just experienced. And then finally, I downloaded they've re-released and are selling Doki Doki Literature Club. So if you never experienced it for free, now you can. But it has some side quests that basically give you more information about the characters and their background and how they became together with the literature club. So I just did a stream going through the first two of those out of the four. And they're about 20 minutes, but it's cute. And you also, when you buy this, you get access to the music and you get some like background, like downloadable stuff for wallpaper, and it's just really cool. And I'm probably gonna play through the whole game again once I'm done with this, the side stories. And then I finally picked up a new game that I saw Game Grumps play called Tricky Towers, which is basically Tetris with a physics engine. So depending on where you build the blocks aren't guaranteed to just stay there. They will just fall if there's nothing supporting them, or if like the balance is too far off and you're trying to stack it on each other, but you jostled it and it's like this, it'll just go boop, and the one that you just tried to put on will
neat.
fall off. So it's cool. It's got like three different. It's multiplayer friendly, so like you can play with friends or you can just go and play online, which I usually don't do, but I did this time. And you can't really talk to people, which is fantastic, which is why I enjoyed the multiplayer. Um, so they have like three different modes. They have like a timer mode where you're trying to build the tower as fast as you can. They have another mode where there's a laser, so instead of you can't really build it vertically, you have to build it out horizontally, which is neat. But because again, you have to make sure it doesn't just flop right off the side. So you have to make sure everything is properly grounded. And then there's a third one, um, which is more for like the multiplayer, but if you do single play mode, you have certain blocks that are being sent to you, and then they are also like making the blocks really big, or locking the blocks so you can't move them, or just like sending lightning bolts or something to mess you up as you try and build within to certain checkpoints of height. So, it's also there's a Steam sale going on, so go ahead. Why not check it out if you still have money left from the Steam sale? But I enjoyed it. I love Tetris, and my godfather actually like had it on his computer, so I've been on a massive Tetris kick anyway. So this was just like, ooh, the next generation.
Right on.
All right. So I think that's enough rambling from me. So let me ramble about our topic now.
Yes.
So the whole thing that started this topic was the artist Salvatore Garau. I'm probably saying that wrong, and I apologize. Is an Italian artist who just auctioned off an invisible sculpture for $18,300. It is basically nothing.
It's nothing.
He
I'm just like.
He did an Emperor's New Clothes.
I know that was my exact like reaction when I read the article. I was like, did he literally just Emperor's New Clothes these bitches?
is he called it an immaterial sculpture, which yes, it is,
It is.
because it's nothing.
Sure.
Uh, so we were talking about that, and
Specifically talking about this is why art gets a bad rap.
It's so awful. I mean, this is pretentious bullshit, right? Like, it's a vacuum because it's a space full of
yeah,
energy, even if we empty it and there's nothing left. No, it's not like there is even something there and you took it away. You
yeah, it's
created nothing.
nothing.
You didn't create nothingness. Like, oh my god, no. Like, who bought it though? I don't
Uh, yeah,
understand.
I don't know, but apparently whoever did buy it has the certificate of authenticity, a set of instructions per the work that says it must be exhibited in a private house in a roughly 5 by 5 foot space, free of obstruction, to be properly appreciated. Uh, so, okay, that's a thing. Um,
How about this is where I would approve and he should patent it so that no one can ever do it again.
and yeah, it's so the whole thing is like art. Modern art is not representational because with the advent of photography, you don't really need that. That's not the point anymore. You can just take a photo and you've captured a moment in time. Whereas like modern art is more about like different ways of like, well, what is art now? Because it's not this, so let's figure out other things. That's been like the reason for like the different art movements and the modern art.
You can trace the beginning of the impressionist movement to the invention of the camera, actually, because they were like, well, we don't want to paint still lifes anymore because you can just take a photo of it. So they started painting these, very impressionistic pieces that it's like if you got too close to it, it looked like nonsense, but if you moved far enough away from it, you got the full effect.
Okay, but I think there's a difference in that. I mean, obviously, we
Oh
can
no
all
no
appreciate
No,
modern
no, we're
art of
just
different kinds, and I think what sparked this was like, is this art? Well, no, dude, that's not a sculpture. There are things. This is not a material medium because he goes on and he describes these things, and I was looking, and he's got other ones like saying it's Buddha in contemplation. It's like tape on a sidewalk, and
hmm
just creating a space and then naming it and saying it's this grand idea. Dude, become a writer,
yeah.
right? Or do audiobooks or write like these are
I mean,
ideas and thoughts, and if you're going to put them in a medium, that's not a sculpture.
there's something to be said about art being the way it makes you feel, but it just makes me angry.
Well, and it
no
should. The guy's saying, well, don't we put a form on God? Like, get over yourself.
and
Yeah.
well, that's kind of yeah, and that's kind of the other part is like a lot, especially with modern art, it's all about advertising yourself, putting yourself out there, getting a name so you can then like selling your BS. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to be like not saying you're not a good artist, but it doesn't mean you need to have uh, what one person will find technically like astounding is not going to have the same effect because art is very subjective. And this guy has done other things before this, but they've all kind of had this very tongue-in-cheek kind of
Yeah.
let me
Well, I
see
feel
how
like
much I can
visual
push.
mediums, in particular for modern art, can be effective. Like Pollock. I mean, some people just see a bunch of splash paint, but it can evoke emotion because you can imagine, its creation. Or, Cubism.
Yeah.
It's not my thing. I don't get it, but it's can be graphically intriguing. Intriguing. You can put and performative art where
Yeah.
like you had that one where like people just came in a room and just sat silently. Like, that's still a form of art I can appreciate because there's something you can take out of it instead of this guy is telling you, here's what this space is supposed to be. That seems
Yeah.
kind of an antithesis of art.
Yeah, it's like I'm telling you how this is supposed to make you feel, which is not what it's really about. But speaking
Yeah,
of
it's like a bad
performance,
therapist. That's not an
yeah,
artist.
speaking of
Well,
performance art, my favorite performance art is a woman. I think she's Korean. I don't remember, but she literally crochets herself into a cocoon and then just lays down for a little while. Like she will sit there for hours and crochet herself into a cocoon. I was like, that's
That's
neat.
cool. I like that.
but
But,
yeah, and
yeah.
there's kind of been this like, and again, this is something that some people just are not appreciating at all. Other people are appreciating for like, you actually pulled this off. That takes balls. Other people
Mhm.
are like, you're just freaking lazy, man. So like, modern art kind of, especially with like in this century, has kind of taken a different shape, and like more people are aware of like the modern art drama as it is.
Well,
Like
internet connects everyone, right?
yeah, so like what was it? Last year? 2019. There was the exhibit in Miami Beach where I'm gonna butcher your name and I'm so sorry, I'm terrible. Maurizio Catalan was taping bananas to a wall. Literally just a banana and silver duct tape, taping it to a wall and selling it for $120,000 each. And like he didn't have a I respect this because he didn't have a hoity-toity like, oh well, this is a representation of God, or this is the state of the food industry and modern, none of that. He's just like, the banana is supposed to be a banana. Like like I gotta give you props for that, dude. He's like, no, I just taped a banana to a wall. If you want to buy it for this much, you can buy it, but and it's
Oh, and what's the
just,
exhibit with the candy?
oh, the
Oh, well,
Candytopia?
no, no, no.
No,
There's an exhibit I've seen
it's in
the thing
tribute
about
to
this.
the guy's partner.
Yeah, the guy's partner who passed away. Um, the candy is like his weight. I think it's his weight in can or pieces in.
Yeah, and so like, and people can just go take it, and it's supposed to like represent like the sweetness of his life, and
Mhm.
it as it was he watched him waste away. But it's like you can, and it can be recreated. People have permission to, and like the instructions are like the weight of candy, and you just put this pile of candy in the corner in an art gallery.
Mhm.
It's really beautiful. Like that is art. That's participatory. It has a component. People can relate to it differently. People not realize quite what it is, but then there's a
Well,
story. Like,
it has meaning instead of
yes,
it being someone's like uh holier than thou attitude.
It's like, I like the banana with duct tape because to me it kind of is exploiting like, this is what we're at. This is where we're at, guys. Like,
Mhm.
or my one of my other ones I really like is the Banksy uh print that he did that sold at auction and was attached to a shredder that they didn't notice the bottom part of the frame was a shredder until like as soon as the auction would close, it immediately started shredding because it's about the experience, not about the
Owning the
piece.
artwork, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I
Um
found the article about the candy, the free candy in the
Mhm.
museum. It was Felix Gonzalez Torres, and I put it in our show notes. I'll have it on our website. And for those of you that are here live, I put it in the chat if you want to go take a look at this interesting piece of art.
but and then so it just kind of got me thinking about like modern art, and then I also there's a meme that is still going around that makes me happy, that uh, Anish Kapoor is not allowed to sell or purchase or look at or interact in any way with this particular brand of black, and one of my associates, like a friend of a friend, was like, I don't understand this. What is this about? And I'm like, crack my knuckles.
You have
Okay.
sent an email.
I don't get to do this very often unless it's Sailor Moon related. So, type, 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 type. For those who don't know, speaking of art drama,
Ugh.
yeah.
I believe, is he the same one who did the Bean in Chicago?
Yes, he
Yes.
is the same one who did the bean.
That's what I thought. So Anish Kapoor began working with Vanta Black to create a substance to be the least reflective form of black that you could get. It absorbs far less light, so it's
The
supposed to look
blackest
more
black.
like the
Yes.
blackest black, the voidiest void that ever voided.
That by
and-
itself would not be a problem.
Oh.
However,
He then got it exclusively licensed to Anish Kapoor for his own artistic use. Well, his studio's own artistic use only. So nobody else in the art world could have access to this blackest black of black. Why exclusive? Because it's collaboration. And I wanted to push them to certain use for it. I've collaborated with people who make things out of stainless steel, and that's exclusive. So basically, it's just like, I'm putting my mark on it. This is mine. And this didn't really go over well with the art world in general. Lots of people had lots of things to say, including Stuart Semple, who decided to retort by developing a pigment called the Pinkest Pink, and specifically made it available to everybody except Anish Kapoor and anyone affiliated with him.
And he
To-
keeps doing that. He keeps doing that, and he uses like
Yes.
Anish Kapoor's wording, I think, where it's like
yeah.
about the licensing, and just kind of reverses it to, and you have to promise that you will never give it
Yes.
to him.
Anish
Basically, if you go to Stuart's Semple's website and you purchase anything from his website, there's a specific agreement that you have to do. Let me find it. Here we go. Legal declaration during the online checkout confirming you're not Anish Kapoor, you're no way affiliated to Anish Kapoor, you're not purchasing this item on behalf of Anish Kapoor or an associate of Anish Kapoor, and to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief, this paint will not somehow make it into his hands of Anish Kapoor. Now,
Well, he's made his own like black.
like he
now,
got
I
a
think,
hold of
too.
the pink. Like Kapoor got a hold of the Pinkest Pink, and then made an Instagram account with a picture showing his middle finger dipped in the pink, with the caption "Up yours, pink." The art drama is so petty. I love it.
Right?
But I thought Stuart had made his own like really dark, like blackest black now. I think someone
He is
has.
Better Black.
Yeah.
He has released that for everybody except again Anish Kapoor. An acrylic super base. And let's see, there's Black 2.0, Black 3.0, and Diamond Dust, which is the most glittery glitter.
Yes,
This
the
also
glitteriest glitter that ever glittered. There was something
Wow,
that they
that's
were
a plague.
they said that they were gonna like try and paint the bean the pinkest pink.
Yes, they were going to repaint the bean to the Pinkest Pink as an additional FU to Anish Kapoor. It's just the weirdness of this pettiness. I don't know. I kind of enjoy it more than I could. But it's just like I just really appreciate that, like, no, you can't just hoard a color.
Yep,
Like,
that's
dude.
not that's not a good look, man.
No, it's so
So-
petty.
I just wanted to talk some about that, and just the weirdness of like the art world right now, and then of course I can't stop talking about modern art until I talk about one of the most infinite art restorations, the SC Homo, the repainting of Christ, from the cathedral. So now we have Monkey Christ. It's bless her. She was not. She was not a professional restorer. She was just a local painter who liked to paint on her own and saw that this portrait of Christ in the church was not looking so good and decided that she would fix it. And to her credit, she did not finish it, but the way the base colors were pointed down, he kind of looks like a monkey with a beard.
Oh no.
Yeah. If you
I
if you
see
don't know it, you can look it up. It's has its own Wikipedia page. It's called ECCEHOMO, EC Homo, and that actually sparked a lot of interest in like art restoration, because like people were upset that this happened, but also people were like, well, how do you fix it? Which like had art restorationists come out and be like, well, let us tell you how, and how you can have us help you with this in the future, so maybe we don't run into this situation.
Yeah.
So it is pretty expensive, and the church did not have a large amount of money, but the church has gotten a good amount of money now from, this going basically viral. And even the artist, let me find her name again. Elias Garcia Martinez has gone ahead. No, that was the original painter of it. I'm sorry. That was the one who originally painted it in the church, and then it was retouched up by Cecilia Gimenez. But she has now gone on to have her own career because of this, which is good on her.
Yeah.
Sure.
All you can. Okay, so did she like volunteer, or did they ask her to like try and fix it?
No, nobody asked. She did not. She literally kind of just like went to the church, and started painting.
All I can really say is bless her, she tried.
Yes. Like initially they thought it was vandalism.
No, it says she had approval of the local clergyman.
Yeah. Apparently the priest knew, and she never tried to hide it. But not everybody knew what it was. So, but because of
then
it,
the BBC caught it and.
Yeah.
Oh, good God!
But
What the hell is she doing?
Well, it's become a tourist success.
Yeah.
So that has helped raise money and awareness for that little church in Spain. And like I said, she did get her own. She has her own, I think, website. And then there's been 2 different documentaries about it. Apparently, Fresco Fiasco and Behold the Monkey.
Yikes.
It's just
Oh,
wacky modern art. You've come
and
so
there's
far
another thing
from
where people are
Damien
getting
Hirst.
all like pretentious. It's like somebody was like, "Well, it's what a one. It's her vision of her savior uncompromised by schooling." Like, stop. You really don't need to do all that. She was just trying to fix it, and didn't do a good job.
And didn't know how, because fixing
She was just
old
mad.
art
It was
is
flaking
hard.
off.
Yeah,
Fixing old art is hard.
Yeah.
especially frescoes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different way of painting. I think it was depending on the age of the fresco. Like, was it the Last Supper? That was like a tempera paint made with like an egg wash. Because Leonardo was always trying to figure out like different, like new paint recipes, basically. So his stuff is seriously hard.
Yeah, Ecce Homo was only in 1930.
Yeah,
That's so
it wasn't.
long ago.
No preservation techniques were really applied to it. It wasn't added. I don't know. This stuff just, I don't know.
She tried.
She tried.
Now it's modern art.
Now it's modern art. Yep. It's infamous modern art, and maybe kids in like 20 years or so will learn about it as selling art books.
Yeah. They certainly will if they are going into restoration.
I just, I don't know. I'm so pleased that this stuff is beyond like talk at an art school about like, oh, did you see this exhibit or did you hear about this art? And like, no, it's just all over the internet now, and it makes me so happy.
Mhm.
Even people who don't really have much of an interest in art can kind of just enjoy the pettiness. And yeah, so I just wanted
Great.
to take a few minutes to talk about modern art.
Have you heard about the modern art?
If you have any strong opinions about modern art, or want to talk about a story we might have missed, or uh, how you felt looking at any of these pieces or work, you can chime in and email us at geekgrills@gmail.com. You can also tweet us at geekgrills. So Grills, what are you most anticipating right now?
Well, my one of my coworkers is having her. Well, she doesn't know she's having a baby shower tomorrow, but we have planned for her at work, um, for a baby shower. So I have a little Navi baby plush that I made because she really likes Legend of Zelda, and a tiny baby Yoda hat because her husband really likes Star Wars.
Aw.
So I will be taking those and giving them to her. Um,
Mhm.
and then on Wednesday, my D&D card captors is going to start its grand finale. They have
Ooh.
one more card to get out of the deck of many things, and it's a big old dungeon. So it might take more than one session. So we'll see what happens. But I am looking forward to that because they're level 14, or I think they're level 14, so they're pretty hoss. Um, so I'm gonna throw the kitchen sink at them and see what happens.
Nice. How about you, Ember?
On the 10th, I'm going to another burlesque show. It'll be the return of Big Mama's House of Burlesque, who our
Yay!
friend of the show, Dina, will be having her troupe at the Visual Light Theater in Charlotte. Looking forward to that. People doing things. Like DJ Spider was at the show. She's like, people in person. um, drying many herbs. Again, I'm in a constant cycle of that right now. I've been harvesting chamomile like every other day, which is kind of cool. Making many pickles. I've got about a dozen pickles or cucumbers in my crisper drawer right now, and just got a case of canning jars because they're a little hard to come by. I had to order them.
Oh,
Still,
yep.
I guess supply has not caught up. So I'll be making many pickles, and I'm looking forward to Jen's wedding, but that's not for another couple weeks. And I'll mention this now, but it'll come up again down the road. I thought I was going to the Van Gogh exhibit,
Mhm.
and the 30th came, and my friend said, "Oops, I got the tickets for July 30th."
Oh, whoopsie.
Well.
So eventually, I'm going.
You'll go.
What are you looking forward to, Ray?
Well, tomorrow we have our Aberrant game with Simulacra Studios, and I just found out over the weekend that Onyx Path, which is the publishing company for the new Aberrant and Trinity universe stuff, is going to be promoting it when the episodes are released for people to listen to on YouTube. So
Exciting.
that is super exciting. Like, gee. Let's see. I've I have some funerals to go to this upcoming weekend, but the good side of that is one of my oldest male friends is coming in, and him and his partner are staying with us at the house. So I'm super excited to see them because I haven't seen them since I went up for their wedding a couple of years ago. I hate the circumstances, but I'm really excited to see them. That's pretty much it. Excited.
Cool. Sorry, I was
Oh, no problem.
distracted. Yeah, sorry about your losses, but reconnecting isn't all bad. I'm gonna have some of that
Yeah.
probably this summer too. I'm probably gonna end up driving to New York so I can finally go to Matthew's grave and see some people. Now remember, folks, you can always come watch us record live at twitch.tv/geekgrills on most Monday evenings. Our next one will be on July 12th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
And in addition to the subs and bits that we get on Twitch, we are supported by our amazing patrons, the greatest girlfriends on the internet. You can become a patron at www.patreon.com/grills. And don't forget, if you have Amazon Prime, you can sub to us for free every month on Twitch.
Another way to show your support is by leaving us a review. You can do so on any of your podcast catchers. Leaving a review is free and they help our ranking, which helps other people find our podcast. Also, you can join our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter if you'd like to help spread the word.
All right. And where can we find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitch and Instagram under the madcap_misc, that's MISC, and you can check out my website at madcapm.com.
I can be reached at 9 of 12 on Twitter and Twitch, and you can hear me on the Heresy and Hearsay podcast.
And you can find me on Instagram under Dapple Dame and on Twitch as Ray Ino. And thanks for listening, everyone. Good game.
GG!
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
For some reason, the art bumper is broken.
Oops.
I push it and I get a big, alert sign, so I'm gonna have to fix that.
Bleh.
I'm gonna stop the
Bleh.
recording. And over here.
Okay.
Oh, we got a one-man raid.
We did.
Hey.
A raid with a party of one.
Okay.
Maybe they were just checking out how to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know who that is. We didn't get any show title submissions. Yeah, I have to check out the slow-mo bee. And I guess I'll just stop stream.